Hey team, happy Wednesday, happy update for today. Exciting week, we launched SmartFlow, which is going to be used for tracking care of hospitalized patients. However, as you've heard from Danielle, and maybe you've even seen yourself so far, there are a ton of capabilities of this software which I think we'll be able to use in different ways throughout the practice since we've invested in the software. We just really decided that patient care in the hospital was where we needed to prioritize because we were having the biggest problem with Whiteboard. So we're happy to have completely abandoned Whiteboard, merged over to SmartFlow, and now what's left is just fine-tuning our individual approach to that. This morning, Wednesday morning, excuse me, in rounds, Danielle outlined that we are kind of taking baby steps towards having a hospitalist. Now, for the rest of our practice who's not in the nursing area, this hospitalist is going to be someone who works in the treatment room, who's kind of the most in charge of patients. They'll be the liaison between the patient and the doctor. So they'll be providing care, organizing that patient's care, communicating directly with the doctor, whereas we used to go through the level 3 nurse who was oftentimes on an appointment team. So we're kind of making baby steps towards making that vision come true. It is working. We just can't make a cold switch all at once without causing chaos because we have a heavy patient load, we have a lot of team, and we have some real carved out routines that we have to start to break. However, I am just so proud that we are making this work. When you're on a little boat, it's really easy to make a turn and it's really easy to go really fast and still keep people safe and stay organized and achieve what you want. But when you're on a cruise ship, every little turn, even the slightest deviation, takes so much planning. You really have to have everybody on board and working together, or you just won't make the turn and you can create some really unsafe situations. So I guess I'm the most proud of our team because we started this year by saying good to great, right? And that we weren't going to implement anything new. We were going to focus on ourselves. So in that retrospect, yes, there are some little new pieces happening, but they're all in effort of the good to great. And we've really slowed down to take strategy into play because we know we're such a big and evolved team. And y'all, it's working. Everybody's happy. There's no crisis created. So we can do this. And we're going to continue on after we master SmartFlow this week and we start to introduce that new hospitalist role in what its vision was and not just how we've kind of minimized it so far. Starting next week and the week following. After that, we'll loop into adjusting the way that our appointment nurses operate, which will kind of rainfall into the way our customer care team operates. I'm really, really pleased on how this is coming together. Slow but sure, very strategically, and with all the right support and buy-in from our team. Just really, really proud of y'all. So thanks for letting me make that point, but thanks the most for your hard work and for sticking with it. Again, super proud. This week on the 8th, we're welcoming a new team member, Kurt Gerhardt. He's actually Amanda Gerhardt's husband, who Amanda works during the nights in our treatment room and assisting our appointment team. And so Kurt is also starting as a nurse in that area. They've actually worked together before, and we have worked with other husband and wives. So I'm really optimistic, and I'm excited to get to know Kurt a little bit better. I think he's going to make a great complement to our team. So be sure to welcome him this week. Another thing that we're doing in the realm of new team members is we've noticed that we have a little weakness that we want to address. Again, like I said, small boat can move fast. It's easy to orient yourself and stay safe. Taking that same analogy and saying that we're actually on a cruise ship size boat, we're a big team. It is really, really hard to just jump on that kind of thing safely and comfortably for new team members and have everybody know everything. I think our team is really nice and very welcoming, and we do probably far more phenomenal job at training and onboarding, but we still have some weak areas because we have new team members who aren't globally exposed to what we're doing and how we're doing it. So with that said, we're going to take a little bit different approach. Sprout School becomes more about training to do your particular job, which is what it was originally intended to do. And we're going to have more of a WOW school, or an extended orientation type process, where each of our department managers will get a chance to meet with new team members to tell them about the function of each individual department of our practice, how things work, what we do. And when we say departments, we're not just talking about our core four: doctors, nurses, resort as a whole, customer care team as a whole. We're actually talking about inventory as a department, marketing and finance as departments, human resources, just so that team members get exposure to the depth of everything that we have to offer them for employment, but also understanding how we communicate with the public versus clients. How do we operate as a business? How do we make decisions? These things that really help them with judgment later on. So I'm excited to take this part of the journey on Good to Great and have some introspect there. I will keep you posted on how it goes. One issue that I wanted to bring up this week, this is a pretty short and sweet fix here. I was disappointed to see a decision that we made over the weekend for moving a pet from the resort to the hospital and continuing to have the resort team care for that pet after they cross that threshold. We've been pretty clear about this in the past, that a lot of issues can arise from it. This one worked out okay, but we've definitely seen issues before and don't want to have that. So we have a pretty, in fact, black and white rule that wherever a pet is located, that is the team who cares for them. So if a pet is staying within the hospital team cares for them. They need to be on SmartFlow. They need to have a plan. They need to have an appropriate setup. Their belongings need to be there. If they're at the resort, they're in our resort software, and the resort team is caring for them, and their belongings are there. The only thing that sometimes happens is if a pet is better suited to be cared for at the hospital, but they had checked in the resort, we will allow their charges to accumulate at the resort. These situations are far and few between and should have a manager involved in them, though. This is a hard, fast rule, and I don't want to see it broken again. So please, everybody jump in the chorus with this and help echo this song. Resort pets are cared for resort team members, and hospitalized pets are cared by hospital team members. Here's one complicator to that sometimes. Sometimes we have a client who calls in. This most commonly happens with pain meds or with eye meds, because those are some things that, just due to the efficacy of the drug, we want to see spread out through a 24-hour dosing period. So eye medications might say give every 6 hours, meaning that they need to be given 4 times throughout a 24-hour cycle, and that may fall at nighttime after the resort team has left. However, I want everybody to know, everybody from those who answer the phone to those who don't and just do patient care, everybody within the organization needs to know, our resort team has actually evolved their schedule to being at work from 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. Those are the hours that the resort operates. So if a pet owner is checking into the resort and they say, hey, my pet gets eye medications every 6 hours, you need to level with them and say, the resort team operates from 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. Is it okay if we shrink the duration of this medication and give maybe the first dose at 5:30 a.m. and the last dose at 6:30 p.m. And spread them out throughout? We can do that, and we do that well. What we don't do well with is promising them that a nurse will come over and give that medication late at night, because then again, it crosses the threshold and we make mistakes. I am a big proponent of the phrase, do not overpromise and underdeliver. We do the opposite. We over deliver after under promising. But you got to know what our strengths are, and this is not it. Crossing the threshold continues to fail. Don't do it. Do not do it. Work with a manager for these unique situations. Communicate with clients thoroughly, but do not cross the threshold. If they become insistent that their pet needs a medication late at night, that pet needs to be hospitalized, and charges for hospitalization will ensue. So that's why we have to get ahead of this problem before we find ourselves in it, because it just makes a mess each time. Stick to the rule, get help when you need. I think I've made my point on that one. Okay, going forward, this is big for me, but I wanted to share here because it's really hard to connect with each person individually anymore because of our size. So here it goes. I have decided to step down from my role as the ultimate leader of this practice. My job title has been a little strange through the years. It's probably evolved as we've changed figureheads. On paper, it's been CEO. I have trouble saying that because it doesn't feel right. I feel like a contributing team member, not necessarily a figurehead. But I think that that's the light that I live in. And so I have to own that, right? I've been the CEO of this practice for several years now. However, it's become a little bit too much for me to manage. I think with my personal life, with physical health, with interest and desire, it's probably not too appropriate to be CEO and not really want to be, right? Not want to be seen in that way and want to be a contributing team member. So I've asked to be put in a role that plays my strengths and puts me as a contributing team member. And I think that did a couple of things. It allowed for others who had been below me before to have a growth above me, and I really, really wanted that for them. I'm not ashamed to say that I have worked really, really hard through my career to try and build careers for those around me, knowing that I would grow myself throughout that, and I've been pretty successful with it. Because we're a successful practice and you each are incredible rock stars, some which I found that way and some who've grown within our practice that way. So stepping down from my role and still working here is a unique blend, and it affected other people. So this is kind of how it has happened. I have asked Melinda to step into the role where I was. And her new role is going to involve overseeing business functions like finance and marketing and human resources and working a budget and helping us to continue to evolve and grow as a company. And she is so ready and she is so perfect for this job. And she has worked really, really hard for this for a long time. And I think she's going to take it places that just really make you proud and impress you. So that is going to be her role. Her role in the past has been a bit more on the floor in support of other managers, in support of the facility and the function of things. And so we're going to kind of divvy that up a little differently now. So I've told you what her new role is going to be. The people who are going to answer directly to her because of that are going to be Alex and Beryl and Amber and the department managers in the way of what they need for people and what they need for supplies. She's also going to handle the facility care and the redesign of things and big projects. And she's going to be stellar at it. So congratulations, Melinda, on that. I've told you 100 times, but here it is. And please, everyone, be sure to give her a great big hug, high five, kiss on the cheek, well wishes, everything that she deserves. My new role is going to evolve to being more of an on-the-floor manager who involves client service and efficiency and everything. This is what I thrive at. I want to work with department managers to remove obstacles on how things function. So you will see me a lot, and I may be critiquing your efforts and efficiency We may be working together to see what roadblocks that there are so we can remove them. I'm the person that you want to involve with your department manager if you think something could be a little bit better, right, in your area. So that's how we'll work together. Ultimately, I'm going to be directly overseeing the customer care department as well, because that's the area that's been definitely in the spotlight for our practice this year, since clients' expectations have been really surprising us with their evolution. So things like updating our phone system, adding team members, adding new softwares, IT developments and things, that's all going to be my grit there, as well as helping to make sure that our customer care team is the most efficient in working in these new things. So I'll work closely with Charlie for that, and overseeing the schedule and so on. Charlie will be kind of an assistant on the floor manager to me. We don't exactly have job titles, we have role descriptions. It may be a little bit blurry for a while. Probably the best thing to do would be, if you're not sure, come to me and I'll sort it out and direct you to who can help you if I can't immediately. We will continue to evolve this and keep you updated. I hope you understand and appreciate this transparency. It's a little weird, to be honest with you, but things always get weird before they get great, right? So I think that we're almost there. The other thing that's kind of going on that I wanted to share, again, weird to say, I'm not a real attention seeking person typically, but also don't want to be private with my family and people who I love. I am going to be taking probably the next 11 working days off. I'll be back on August 23rd. This is going to be a great point of distance to make sure that people can settle into their new roles without getting in the way, because that's something that I'm really trying to be conscientious of and make sure that things work. And that goes for my department managers as well as Melinda. So I'll be out for that time. During that time, my family is welcoming a new child. For those who don't know, my passion outside of LVCC is foster care, and sometimes that looks really, really bizarre, and sometimes it's different than what you see on TV. In this case, we've gotten to know this child before he's moved into our home, which was different than my last two children. If you've followed me for that many years, or if you've been part of my family. So we have John, who's 9 now. He came to us at 4 through foster care. We have Owen, who is about to be 4 in September. He came to us as a newborn through foster care. And then tomorrow on Thursday, we're welcoming a 5-year-old boy named Milo, and he has failed in the foster care system, and so he is stuck with us now. So it's going to be a little bit of a journey, because this kid has some needs that are different, and so that's why I need to take some time to connect him with resources that he needs and to just really help him to be loved. So probably needing a lot of support there, and so I'm asking for a little patience and privacy to go and do that and return to a new role and help you with what you need. So that's what's going on with my family. Would love any kind of prayers that you can offer, and maybe some high fives today or something, I don't know. Anyways, that's what's going on. Be back on the 23rd, be really strong, be ready to rock in some of these new systems and processes that we're putting up. And I just thank you for your support throughout that, and for being such a great team that this is really easy to do. Okay, that's it for today. Happy to answer questions. Melinda wanted me to remind you that she is very, very available and happy to answer questions, as well as Charlie. We might not have the answer, but we're happy to ramble with you over it and at least set some expectations. If not, that question that you ask will draw our attention to where we need to focus next. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and just keep doing the great work that you do. I'm so in awe of this team and appreciative of you all the time. All right, love y'all.